What up, everyone? It's another Nerdville video, and I'm gonna try to post twice a week now, give you guys more content. Um, I'm just trying to keep more active, keep more busy, even though I'm already busy. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about, and it's time to get serious. So, starting a new segment. I'm gonna call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know it's a real original name, but I think it's good to talk about different things in the gaming world, the video game world, the board game world, the nerd world, all that stuff. Today, I want to talk about the Avengers game, right? That just recently came out for the PS4 and will come out later for the PS5, right? And a lot of people have been covering this in a very negative way, right? People are posting that less and less players are playing. It's repetitive. They're just waiting for the new DLC. And some of those complaints are justified. But are they all right? Well, let's find out. So, first, I want to talk about the good, right? And there is a lot of good in this game, right? It's not all hogwash and negative stuff as people are making it out to be. And the first good thing that I want to mention that I actually don't think gets a lot of credit is the characters' play styles, right? People call this the Ultimate Alliance 2.0, right? This is the 2020 version of Ultimate Alliance that we're finally going to get to play. We're going to play with our friends online. It's going to be like super high graphics, more fighting, and it kind of delivered in that sense. Each character really feels like you're playing that specific character in the Avengers. And it's really, really important to note that, if you're like a fighting game kind of person, you're going to really like this game, even though it's not a fighting game. That's because the light attacks, the power attacks, the signature attacks, the heavy attacks, even though the buttons for the combos are the same, it looks very different for each character and they all have different effects. And of course, your special abilities, right? They all look very different from each other, even though they kind of perform similar mechanical aspects. But I think a lot of people have not been giving credit to how when you play from Iron Man to Thor, you're going to play differently, right? And each character really feels like you're playing that character. Captain America to the Hulk, very different play styles, very different feel, right? And what I'm talking about is like the move sets, right? Iron Man's power dive, right? That's unique to him. Thor's swinging of the hammer, very different, right? Unique to him. Even the Hulk just jumping, like, is very different. But what's awesome is that you feel like you're actually playing those characters, right? Like the power dive is like I am Iron Man. The Thor chucking his hammer around, I am Thor. Uh, Hulk using the thunderclap, you know, you really get the feel that you're playing that character. And so when you switch characters, right, when you feel like one day I want to play someone else, you're getting a very distinct, different feel. And I love all the thought about how the combos play out and how it looks. And I don't think that gets enough credit. So, I think people should kind of appreciate that, honestly. I think it would have been significantly worse if we got a game where every attack more or less looks the same and feels the same, even if you're playing a different character. So that's one really good thing about the game. Second good thing is the campaign. Um, I'm part of this Facebook group that talks about different aspects of the game. You kind of post whatever. A lot of people post like their unique uniforms, how their team looks, and what kind of theme they're going for the costumes. A lot of people ask for help for hives, your raids, saying, "Here's my username. Anyone want to jump in, help me out?" People ask for advice, and now it's swung a little bit more negative, but we'll get to that in a bit. What I appreciate about it is that a lot of people have been asking, "Hey, when are we going to be able to replay the campaign?" And I think that's a good sign. I think that shows that people thought the campaign was actually pretty good, and it was. I think it was well thought out. It is really more about Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, and her journey and her interactions with the Avengers, and I think they could have done a little bit more to highlight the other characters, but I think they did a really good job showing the growth, the struggle, and just her inner thoughts that she's dealing with during the campaign. I think it could have been longer for sure, but overall, I really liked it. I thought it was cool. Thought it was well done, and I think it's a good thing people are asking to replay because they're basically saying, "Hey, this campaign's good. I want to go through it again." Kind of like a new save plus version. I want to go through it again, but with like my full 150 power max gear kind of thing. And it is fun to play games like that. That's why the new save plus has become like a new hot thing. But you know, as great as those two things are, there are some bad things, right? And bad things are just going to be kind of your generic bad things. Like, they should have fixed this before. It's not like horrible. It's not like the ugly, but it's something they should have noticed. And the first thing is not going to come to you a surprise, the bugs. Now, I've seen some bugs that people post on the Facebook group that I've never seen before. Like, people have seen like duplicate characters running around. They'll get like three like Thors all of a sudden like next to them, and I've never seen that. I saw one where like apparently like this one area was just loot everywhere. Like the whole screen was just filled with loot, and I'm like, I feel like that's a good bug if you're able to get all of that. I don't know why you're complaining about that, but that was a bug I saw. The one I ran into the most, and I think just the worst bug, was there were certain moments in the game where the sound would kind of go to a broken record kind of thing. Like it would go like, and it was just, oh my gosh, like depending whatever sound you like were at the broken record at, it was just the worst. I got one where like Captain America was like saying something halfway through, and it's just literally his voice going like, da 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 da. It was just, oh my gosh, this is awful. Like there are some bugs where I can get over it, be like, oh, I'm stuck, I'm gonna have to restart the game. I can actually, get over that. Like it's annoying, but I'm not like, super peeved about it. Or some characters are stuck, and then if I'll have to go to a different area to get them unstuck, kind of thing. But audio bugs just really just hit me the wrong way. Like that's like it's like you're listening to music, and then it just abruptly hits you in the face. Like nobody likes that. Um, so definitely playing test. They should have probably play tested more. They should have caught those bugs earlier because there was enough posts that I saw that people were like a lot of people did post about the audio bugs that they were running into, and that was bad. That was bad. Another bad thing that I thought personally was it's a little bit about the campaign. It was just a little too short. It could have been longer. It could have expanded more to the other characters, or we could have had at least like side campaigns, I guess. See like how the other characters were interacting with the world during this time period. I mean, I find it hard to believe that everyone was just sitting on their butts the whole time. I'm sure they were, helping the world out in some secret way, or at least you could have added that. So that's kind of like a thing, a bad thing. The campaign just a little too short. But those two things aren't like the worst things you could encounter in a game. Like that happens every now and then, honestly. But now we're here to talk about the ugly, right? And this is the stuff where I'm going and looking at the people who developed this game and going, what the heck were you guys thinking? Like this is an absolute no, like to us gamers. And repetitiveness, it's got to be there. That's not just a bad thing. The post game content, like they're like, oh, you can do vault missions, you can do hive missions, you can do elite hive missions, you can do daily quest, and that sounds great and all. It's like, wow, we're getting a lot of post game stuff, and then you realize they're played all in like the same like 5 or 6 maps, and you're just like doing the same thing basically. Like hives are just basically 5 missions crammed into one. And that wouldn't be bad in of itself, except it's in the same map that you've done that campaign or other missions on. And it's just, why are you why couldn't you give us a little bit more, right? Or at least different objectives in the same map. Like maybe make us explore a different area of the map that we normally don't go to, and do like a cool segment there, like a cool boss segment in a different area at least. But literally, you're going through the same route. You're fighting the same boss in the same location. Like I felt like it was really lazy for them to say, "Oh yeah, you're fighting a clone of the boss that you fought before." Yeah. Oh, the next day you play this game, it's another clone. It's the same boss, by the way, but it's another clone, and it's just really repetitive. And there's only so much that a gamer can play with six different characters throughout the day in the same map, doing the exact same thing, going through the exact same route, running to the exact same enemies. You know, even then, like for me personally, like I can only maybe play like 2 to 3 characters in a day before I'm done. Before I feel like okay, I've done this mission like 50 billion times. Even though it's my first time playing today, I've done this mission so many times, and that's bad. It really feels like, you know, they were hoping that oh once they have to work really hard to get 150 and they'll keep playing, and it's just I play like maybe like once or twice a week max, like 3 times a week, for like an hour or two, and that's real ugly. That's not good. Um, Another ugly thing was, here's the thing about DLCs, um, and free DLCs in particular. Um, Free DLCs is kind of a sign of we know that the game's not complete and we're just gonna hand it to you. So hold on tight for like extra stuff. And if you're gonna do that, you don't want to make the community wait too long. Um, and the fact that you can complete the campaign in, if you're spending like 2 hours or an hour a day, you could probably complete the campaign in less than like a month, honestly. If you're like grinding through it, like you're just bursting through the campaign. So if you're gonna make us wait like 2 extra months, 3 extra months for the next content, you are gonna lose people naturally. So I think they should have done a much better job of just streamlining when the DLCs were coming out. I particularly thought it was weird that for the Hawkeye DLCs that are coming out, that Hawkeye has a room in the Chimera and it's just empty, and it's just you're just looking at it and going, "This is so pointless." Like if you're gonna make a room, you should have streamlined the DLC to where he would make an appearance much sooner than, um, the next 2 or 3 months when the game releases. But you know, that's just a personal thought. I think another ugly thing is just the kind of the loot system. Once you understand how the loot system works, you're basically just going to be chucking out rares and commons and uncommons. You're just waiting for epic and legendaries, and if you're playing single player for the most part, you're not going online. They're a little bit harder to get, and you're really waiting on uh, the shops. You're saving your fragments for the shops, and collecting fragments is like particularly kind of just a chore. And if you want new costumes, like getting that particular type of currency is very very slow. Which I kind of understand. Some of the costumes should be worth like 7,000, but some of them should not be worth like 4,000 or 3,000 or whatever it is. Um, so yeah, I think looking at the game as a whole, it's fun for a short period amount of time. But I can definitely understand why people have just jumped out of the train. I haven't maxed out my character, so I'm still every now and then when I get to have time to play the game for an hour or two, I enjoy it for that hour or two. But then like I kind of hit a big wall and just go, okay, I've done this so many times, I'm so bored. Um, so I can understand it, but I think we should also appreciate the positive and the hard work really that the developers put into the game. So um, I think we should be taking the game as kind of like a first step for us, the gaming community, on how to respond to the developers. Because if we're just shouting negative things, they're not actually getting ideas on how to fix it, right? Um, like there's a step to saying it's bad, to saying it's repetitive, to it's repetitive. Here's how you can change it. And I think that's what the gaming community as a whole needs to kind of work on. We need to get to that third step of saying, here's an issue, and here's a couple of ideas. They don't have to take the idea, but at least gets their brains turning a little bit. So I think that's where we need to work as a whole. Just you know, say it for what it is, but give criticism that actually helps. So that's all I have for today. For the next Good, Bad, and Ugly, I want to talk about the Assassin's Creed franchise as a whole, with Valhalla coming out very soon. I'm super excited for that game. But I want to talk about the franchise as a whole um, in that aspect. And this week you'll see me talking about more Magic stuff. I'm going to teach you guys how to draft on Arena with Quick Draft or Premier Draft, and the commons and uncommon cards that you need to really pick up. Um, so yeah, if you guys thought this video was awesome, give it a like, sub to the channel, alarm bell, notification bell, whatever it's called, and leave your comments. And I respond to those. And if you have any ideas on what I should do, please let me know. I do love catering to you guys. Um, so thanks again. This has been Nerd Phil. Hope you enjoyed this segment, and I'll see you guys real soon.